YouTube fans, here again. And this one inspired me. Aston Market. Aston Market. Is it a rant? Is it a rave? Is it a listener lesson? Fuck it, a bit of both. Now, as we know, Tameside Council is doing away with Aston Market. Whether they're going to rebuild on it is a different story. But in all fairness, fuck it, I do a bit of history lesson as well for it in. Aston Market, it's not been the same for this. It's not been the same for this. I remember, right, when I was a wee lad, I moved to Aston back in the early 90s. Yep, believe it or not, that long ago, back in 1991, I moved to Aston Market. And I've got to be open, I've got to be honest, it hasn't been the same. Hasn't. I'm going to be doing a history lesson of the golden days of Aston Market, the days when I moved in 91. Well, back then, you had the tolls market where you could pick whatever tolls you want. I remember getting a lot of these beautiful shirts here. We got a lot of other nice shirts and nice jumpers, and they had more choice then. They had more what you wanted on the golden days of the Aston Market. We had a food store, we had the fruit store, and we had a blanket store. Basically, when I get my beautiful new duvet, I was sewing it off. We had the duvet store. Now, you can still get some of them. I do admit there's some where I go. There's basically you can even get your keys unlocked. If you've got a key cut, you get a key cut. And not only do you get that, back in the days when I remember this is going back a bit. We had a die, right? And this die was brilliant. In the golden days of the VHS, this die had all the old, and I mean the old VHSs, some of the oldies, like some of the horror films. You had American Werewolf in London, the original 81 copy, re-rentable. You had some of the Doctor Who's. You had all these date videos. But then we bought Memory Lane. I remember saying this on the days when I rented videos. And that was back in the early 90s. You even had a porn section. Ooh, yeah, you had a porn section back then in the golden days of the outdoor market, and it was tight, doesn't it? I mean, the outdoor market was bigger, it was nicer, it was a lot more organised, and I do remember the indoor market before it ever got burnt down. I do remember the saddest of when that got burnt down. It got burnt, but I would give Tameside House or something. I never thought I'd say that in a million years. I never thought I'd say it. They rebuilt over the structure, they rebuilt of how it originally looked, and they kept it how it was. Now we get to, if everyone knows Aston, there used to be what they call a museum. That's right, there used to be a museum. And you go to the museum, and it then brings memory lane back of World War One and World War Two. That's right, World War One and World War Two. You had all that. And I remember going in, it was quite fun. There was a little area where you had a little cafe, you could have a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, a little tea cake. I mean, back then, at the house or something, they actually invested the money. Unlike nowadays, where Tameside House are too busy to start businesses and not investing any money. They're not. I don't think Tameside Council, and this is a bit of a rant now, I don't think Tameside Council have given a shit about us in ages. I really don't. Maybe it's my building. Maybe I'm an asshole. But I just don't think they give a flying shit. And speaking of shit, someone else I think of shit comes to has to be Labour's council. When you got one guy insulting an old person, telling them to hurry up and doss it, really sums up fucking Labour's council. I'm happy to say that person got the sack. Very unspeakable person. This is supposed to be a job of man. This is supposed to be a drawing man, drawing an old pensioner to hurry up and doss it. And to be honest, I'm not really a lover of Talsall. You know what I mean? What they go home every fucking Friday to sort your bins out. Hippity doo dah, excuse me when I get a boner. Ooh, how exciting. But no, they just, to me, Talsall nowadays, especially Tameside Talsall, don't do fucking diggity dig. They do not do diggity fucking dig. But I'm on about the early 90s here. I'm on about the days when I could go in, you could have tolls, you had food, you had feds, you had more choice, more morality of choice. But the market's gone downhill lately. It's gone downhill. I'm an arsehole. Shoot me. So all I know is they're knocking it down, they're refurnishing it, and it's kind of sad to see. It's sad because I remember my childhood when I was a teeny popper, going back in the days on the market, and things were cheap back then. You know what I mean? You could buy things, let's say, for £1.50 or £1. How much times have changed. And it doesn't seem that long ago. It does not seem that long ago when I could walk on the outdoor market. You know what I mean? These were the days when I was probably still a college student. I remember it. I remember it well, actually. I do remember it well. I'm not long left stool. You know what I mean? And I was a teeny popper. I was in college. I thought the whole life was ahead of me. You know what I mean? It was great back then, you know, whenever you had a minute off school, you could go to the outdoor market. And I remember the days, like I say, the classic days of the V8s. How I miss them days. How I miss them. And then I had like a good collection of videos. And like I say, you had the tolls collections, so I could buy myself a nice shirt, a nice pair of jeans. You had the toy collection for all the kids wanting into toys. Granted, I'm not a kid, but you know what I mean? How can I put it in words? I can put it in words. They had a morality of choice. Big word for me, that. They had a morality of choice, but people remember the golden days of the outdoor market. What are you fond of? Are you fond of the days when you get food and feds? Me, the golden days of the V8s. I know that doesn't exist anymore. I know it's a dinosaur. The days when you could buy stuff electrical, you could buy pillows. I saw it again. You could buy bedding. You could buy more. You had more marriage of choice, and it went downhill. Now it's just rubble. It's rubble. And it's heartbreaking to see that. You know, if anyone that lives in Aston, you know exactly what I'm blabbering on about for half an hour. You know what I'm blabbering on about. But it's just something that came to my mind. It's like a few weeks ago, I walked outside, I saw an outdoor market, and you know what I mean? It's like sad. It's like there's a few markets left. Like, I do remember going to the outdoor market of Hyde, and Hyde, that was quite good. I had a good variety of choice. I remember the days of Hyde when I went to the indoor market. And I miss that. I miss that era, you know what I mean? I miss that era where you could pick things, just things you wanted, and it was more tactable on the eye. And when you think about it, it gave me the gift of the dab in what I do nowadays, having on my YouTube channel. It gave me the gift of the dab where I'm working in a charity shop, being the one what I work in. It gave me that amazing gift. And I'm not a religious person, I am not a religious person, say both sides, but I think there's a God out there. God has given me a gift. I'll say it again. God has given me a gift, and that gift is the gift of the fucking dab. It's an amazing gift. And I do remember the days when you had a real life Del Boy, not just like the character from the classic soap, Only Fools and Horses, or comedy I should say, duh. The classic comedy show, Only Fools and Horses. In reality, you did. You did have a real life Del Boy, apart from the lighting going funny there, I do apologise. Typical light is playing up on the camera. So it goes a bit dark, that's probably why. But as I was about to say, I do remember the days when you had a real life Del Boy. And I suppose that, in one way, it gave me that Del Boy. It gave me that Del Boy. But into them, be smart, be safe. I'll see why the phone's ringing in a minute. But into them, be smart, be safe. See you later.